Hi everybody and welcome to another digital piano review here at Merriam Pianos. My name is Stu Harrison and in today's video we're tackling Kawai's CA48, the little brother of the whole CA series, but certainly a piano that packs a tremendous value from the action to the sound, the complexity of the piano tone you get out of this, and of course a couple of really cool apps that work with a wireless connection. We're going to show you all of that in the video. If it's the first time to the channel, we would really appreciate if you did subscribe. Keeps you up to date with all of our new video content that we come out with, pretty much all things piano. So let's get started with the CA48 right away. So the CA48 is kind of the baby brother of the CA series. It's the first one in a line of four, the top three being the CA58, then the 78, 98. Now we're right at the point where actually the 78, 98 have just been replaced with the 79 and 99. We don't even have those models yet in the showroom, but the CA48 and the 58 are going to be with us on the market for the foreseeable future. Those are not receiving replacements yet because of course they joined the line a little bit after the CA78 and 98. So there's certainly tons of shelf life left to these models. For people who know the Kawai lineup overall, the CA48 and 58 can actually be compared quite accurately to the CA29 and the CA39. Because the CN29 and the CN39, because the CN29 and the 39 have the same actions. They basically have very similar speaker outputs, but the major difference tends to be in the quantity of tones that they offer and some of the other features that go beyond just the pianistic features. And when you look at the CA48 and the CA58, you actually find a very similar difference. In fact, the CA48 interface is very similar to the CN29 interface, and the CA58 interface is virtually identical to what you get on the CN39. So there are some direct parallels between the CN29-39 and the CA48 and the 58. I like the CA48 a lot for a couple of reasons, and primarily it starts with the price point and what you get for the price point. The CA48 is the first instrument in Kawai's lineup where you get the full key stick style, full key stick length style in a digital piano. And in Canadian dollars, this is coming in under $3,000. In American dollars, that probably means that you're in the low to mid twos or something like that. And there's just nothing else on the market that really parallels the accuracy of touch and the accuracy of the sensor for this type of a price range. So let's really dive into this. Now, this is a model of the Grand Feel Action, the original. And what's in here is actually called the Grand Feel Compact Action. But when I compare the original Grand Feel and the Grand Feel Compact, they actually don't seem that different. So I'm kind of under the impression that they may have just simply put the original Grand Feel Action into the 48 and the 58 after they released the Grand Feel Action 2, which of course is in the 78 and the 98. And these are really, really cool actions because you've got a key stick length, which is literally the same length as what you get in a full-size upright piano from a Kawai. It's a solid wood key. It's got a pivot style or sort of a center rail pivot point, just like an acoustic piano. And you've got real felt here to cushion the bottom of the key bed. It simulates the let-off or the escapement, and of course you've got a triple sensor for really accurate MIDI output. So that is what is contained within the CA48. And as I said, not only does this deliver a really accurate sense of touch on the instrument, but you can't find this style of action or this level of physical feel for this type of a price range really anywhere in the market. And it's great that they introduced this on the CA48. So they also have a micro texture on both the black and the white keys. it's just lovely to play. Really nice, fast repetition, but the weight is so accurately represented here. Yeah, tons of fun to play. Moving on to the sound portions of the CA48. This is equipped with progressive harmonic imaging. That is just a version of the harmonic imaging engine, which has 88 note individual samples. And those samples are coming from their SKEX concert grand as well as their the previous just EX concert grand. And then the harmonic imaging part is really this extra layer of nuance that's basically being simulated on top of that. And all of this can be manipulated through an app called Virtual Technician. So I've got Virtual Technician here in front of me, and it's a really great example of the type of fun and the type of customization that is possible through this app. So if we are looking at the types of things that you can modify, you've got everything from touch curve to voicing. So this is called normal voicing right now, but if we want to mellow it out, you can hear that this sort of edge is taken off the sound. Or bright, which would be like a harder hammer. Just put that back to normal. You've got damper resonance. So that's the kind of thing where, I don't know if you can hear that, but sort of like a where you take the dampers off. So you've got 1, 2, 3 are not there at all. Then the damper noise, string resonance, key off effect, fallback noise, hammer delay, top board, decay, stretch tuning, temperament, individual key volume. Now this is getting really kind of crazy. And then of course you've got adjustments for everything about your half pedal point, your soft pedal depth, and Kawai uses a thing called the Grand Pedal Feel System, I believe is what it's called. Essentially, they've got different spring tensions inside each of the 3 pedals to accurately sort of simulate what you're getting on a real grand piano. And this is all part of this kind of hyper realistic, hyper detailed approach that they have to creating acoustic piano tone on the instrument. So this is progressive harmonic imaging that you have on here with the individual samples, 192 note polyphony, and of course it mates so well through digital Bluetooth connection to an app like Virtual Technician, where you can essentially customize your own grand piano experience, and then it saves the instrument. You never really have to touch this again. Now, what's feeding all of this, and something that you find throughout the CA line as well, is the integration of Onkyo circuitry, Onkyo technology. Onkyo is this totally separate Japanese company that does a lot of high-end audio gear, and they've been collaborating with Kawai for the last couple of years on how to create this more authentic spatial sense with headphone technology. They've been working with on audio processing, so the waveform as it sort of leaves the tone generator before it reaches the amplifier is just cleaner and is more well managed. It's the complexity is sort of better managed, so we're not getting woofiness or distortion in the sound. And they've also been contributing direct componentry to the amplifiers as well as the speakers themselves. And so the CA48 actually has 4 speakers. You've got the 2 mains, but then you've got 2 small 5-centimeter tweeters at the front that are facing you as a player. Now, compared to the CA58, which also has 4 speakers, but those top tweeters are on the back, my impressions of playing the 48 is you actually do need to make a few adjustments, because I find those tweeters facing straight at you to be slightly brighter than I would normally like. So I tend to use like a slightly more mellow voicing when that is there, so that it's a little more pleasing to the ear. I don't notice it at all when I'm using headphones or if I'm plugged in to an amplifier. In terms of the other sounds that are included on the CA48, an app that gives you a really good visual map of what you can choose is called the Sound Museum. This is also a wireless app that you can use with the CA48. And this gives you all of the options that you've got through this instrument. And there are, I think it's actually about the same complement of sounds that you get through the CN29, if this looks to be correct. So you've got several acoustic options. The SK Concert Grand, which is this. The EX Concert Grand. And then an upright piano. And then several studio grands. Mellow grand, and then you get into your electric piano sounds. And I've always thought that Kawai did an excellent job of their sort of Rhodes knockoff. And you've got modern EP, kind of a DX sound, and then drawbar organ. And on the CA series, your left pedal by default is actually set up to activate that rotary speaker. So you hit it again, and you can hear that rotary speaker kind of shut off. You can trigger, and there it goes. It's a pretty cool effect. And then church organ, your harpsichord, vibraphone, string ensemble, I'll admit that Kawai string stuff is not as authentic as what you're going to get through some of your software programs where you can modify the articulation of the strings. That's always one of the things that's so hard to get right with strings. But when you layer it at the same time, it actually winds up being quite lovely. So you can sort of have a string ensemble plus the concert grand. And you can adjust that balance. And it's pretty pleasing. And then finally, you've got some pads to go underneath everything. So a choir and a new age pad. the last one, which they call Atmosphere. So not a huge quantity of sounds, but this is, I mean, I'm sure you can tell that the focus of this instrument really is on replacing some sort of an upright acoustic piano. I mean, the vast majority of the research, of the app functionality here, and certainly the sound selection is very much focused on acoustic piano. For people who are looking for a much wider variety and selection of sounds, that's where your CA48 is really going to provide you with a huge boost, because now you're up into like 300 sounds. It's got the full General MIDI 2 sound bank, there's tons and tons of extra functionality there. But for a bare bones, from a functional standpoint, for a bare bones instrument that's delivering really great action without cutting any corners on the piano tone itself, and still having excellent speakers and amplifiers for the Onkyo stuff, your discrete headphones, the CA48 really delivers a fantastic bang for the buck. When you consider that the CA48 really is only about $600 or $700 more in most markets for what the CN29 is, you're essentially paying that to get better amps, better speakers, more speakers, and that wood action. For somebody who's going to be at this for an hour or two a day, and this is going to be your primary instrument, that's peanuts compared to the change in the experience, over the course of say 5 to 10 years. So anyway, if you're thinking about a digital piano and you're comfortable looking at anything in sort of the $2,000 to $3,000 spend, I would say anyone who is ready to go out and drop even $1,500 should at least try and get a chance to play this if touch and piano tone are two priorities that are really high on your list. Anyway, we like it here very much, and hopefully there's a showroom relatively close to you so you can have a chance to go and experience it yourself. So thank you so much for watching. This has been our review of Kawai's CA48 digital piano. We're here at Merriam Pianos just outside of Toronto, Canada. My name is Stu Harrison, and if this is the first time to the channel, we'd really appreciate it if you did subscribe and let us know what you thought of the video. Leave a comment, and we do our best to respond to every single one of them. We'll see you back next time. Have yourself a great day.